Hey there, Internet. I'm Niall, and I'm here with special guests Ike and Larry from Weta Workshop, and you're watching the Readiness Report. So I'm here with Ike and Larry from Weta Workshop, and they're in our store today specifically to bring you Giant Killer Robots, the new game. But before we get into that, just want to ask, so you guys both work at Weta Workshop.
That's correct. Yes. Yep.
Who, has worked on some things you guys might have seen.
Yep.
A few like indie titles and stuff, right?
Yeah. My film career spans. My first movie was District 9. Did the design on District 9. Then I moved on to Avatar, and then with James Cameron, and then Neil Blomkamp came back, and we did Elysium and Chappie pretty much almost at the same time. That's why the films are sort of almost overlapping.
Right.
And I also worked with George Miller on Mad Max because he's right over in Australia, right across the ditch from us.
Yep.
And so it's just real easy to get on a conference call and work through that movie. So yeah, that's been a good time.
Yeah, we're huge fan of Mad Max.
Yeah,
Fury Road was fantastic.
What was nice is we're sort of like the tip of the spear, so we do all the design and the way it's sort of look, and then we hand that off to art department. They go away and they make everything. And almost in that time from when we're working on it to when the film comes out, you almost start to forget a little bit about like some of the details.
Yeah.
And so when you get to go to see it, you have a nice fresh perspective.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I remember putting that in there, or
exactly.
things like that. Yeah, okay,
that kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's just
gotcha.
I think it's going to be a classic. I think it's going to be one of those ones you can keep putting in. And
Oh yeah, I mean that's my go-to miniature painting movie.
Yeah,
I put that on and just blast Junkie XL on my face the whole time.
Nice. Nice.
So
very nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. And this kid worked on The Hobbit and all kinds of movies.
Yeah. So before Weta Workshop, I was actually a stunt performer. I still do stunts now. But it just so happened that I had a background in marketing and promotions, and they had this project which they thought I might be keen to come on board. I knew a lot of the guys who worked on it, and what turned into a little short project, just come on board and help us out, and turned into quite a full-on project and quite ambitious, and but it's going to be fantastic.
And that's this one here, Giant Killer Robots.
Fantastic. So you guys are road tripping from San Diego Comic-Con, which I heard Weta had a cool setup there. I didn't go, but one of our coworkers here did. He managed to actually got by the Weta booth. But so you guys had big giant killer robots there, and you're road tripping, hitting different game stores along the way to Gen Con.
Exactly.
That's right. Yep. We are basically doing a Southwest tour, so it's a giant killer road trip of the Southwest. That's the plan. We're going as far as Denver, and then we kind of circle back around Albuquerque, Phoenix, wind up back in San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll fly over to Gen Con. We're gonna have a booth there with Cryptozoic, where we'll be doing. Yeah. We'll have a bunch of tables set up, and it'll be full demos there for 4 days.
Cool. Yeah, Gen Con, it's massive bodies, much like San Diego Comic-Con, so be prepared for that. All right, so your game though. So you guys designed the game at Weta Workshop. You guys did the art design and all that.
That's right. Yeah.
Cryptozoic's doing the manufacturing, publishing of the pieces themselves.
Yeah, and they have a guy there, Matt.
At Hyra.
He's done a lot of the actual game design, the technical game design, just to make sure.
Just like the rules and mechanics and things like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and then you guys, this is an altered reality game, right?
Yes, you can 100% play it standalone out of the box, no problem. But there is a component to it. If you want to, you can bust out your iPad or your iPhone or your Android device, and you can get augmented reality. So in theory, you'd be seeing sort of different weapon systems on them, different defenses, or if something has damage, it will show smoke.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just that kind of thing. If you want that extra added layer,
right?
Yeah.
Also, it'll hopefully not completely get rid of the rule book, but almost like a tutorial system on a video game, be able to walk you through the game, so it's a very quick start.
Okay.
Like with like on Zombicide, can kind of walk you through initially, tell you kind of like until you get used to it.
But it's not like XCOM where you absolutely have to have it sort of thing. Okay, that's cool. And I mean the miniatures are amazing. So you said these are. Other than this one, which your in-house painter went a little overboard with, but this is more or less what we can expect when the game comes out.
This level here is what we're looking at. So as far as in the base kit, There is some of the smaller units may come unpainted, but we're looking at having these big guys painted out of the box, and we know guys are gonna repaint them if they are not happy with them. But we are trying to make sure that out of the box, if someone wants to display it straight away, they can. It's gonna look great. My goal, I think all our goal, is that when you pack the game away, you never pack the miniatures away. You put those on a shelf, you put those next to your computer, and they stay out the whole time because you want to show them off.
Yeah, and I mean, they're beyond just the paint job. They're very awesome looking miniatures. I mean, just very, very cool, very interesting looking design, and you guys were telling me a bit before about how you have all the different weapon poses and different holding positions for the weapons. So you wanted them to be very distinctive and different.
Yeah, to get that different kind of silhouette. So like the first 4, I think there's eventually going to be 8 something factions, right?
Yeah.
So the first 4, but for that exact reason. So we had kind of like one holding the weapon down, much like a District 9 style weapon pose. And then and this guy's holding it, it's almost like a minigun.
Right.
And then that guy's got it up high. And then the guy that's not featured here is the faction called Hammer Strike, and he's holding it more like your classic waist level autocannon.
Which one's the pharmaceutical company?
That one
that's my favorite. That's my absolute favorite. Like I'm a huge sucker for anything like dystopian and cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So the idea of like a pharmaceutical company getting into giant robot combat,
like
is right up that alley. And I love it. I love it, man.
That's the backstory. Essentially, like we had to come up with a reason why the cities were depopulated in the future to be able to have big giant robots in there. So the idea is that at some point back at 200 years, this takes place in the future, obviously, but at some point humanity went through a big plague, and most of humanity was wiped out. And then in rebuilding, they needed robots to help rebuild society. But people were so depressed that along comes Thunder Happy, and how they made their fortune. It became one of the biggest companies of the world.
That's fantastic.
Get everybody motivated.
Yeah, well, I know what faction I'm going to play when it comes out. Then I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, it's D6 based, game's hex based.
Yes.
We'll get some shots of the game later, so our viewers at home can see what the buildings look like, what the map looks like, and I mean, I think it's a very unique, novel design concept. There's all kinds of giant robot miniatures games out there, from going all the way back to classic BattleTech and Heavy Gear Blitz and from G-Pod 9 and all this, and this is sort of a refreshing, I gotta say. I mean, it's the design of the game is very unique.
Yeah,
it's not just.
I think we started from the get-go thinking like that. I love me some BattleTech, and I love the war metaphor with mechs, but we decided to consciously, we were like, what other kind of metaphor? And so we went with the sort of like Monday night sports,
which is hence the corporate sponsorships in the game and things like that.
Everything has endorsements attached and promotional kind of obligations from the pilots that we use. We're looking at a lot of F1, a lot of American sports actually. Just
NASCAR,
NASCAR is a big one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. So, I mean, anything else you guys want to mention about the game? You have a projected release date?
We are looking to, in whatever form we do pre-sales, whether it's Kickstarter or just pre-sales, that'll be later on this year.
Okay.
Looking at October, and then putting out to market sometime in the first quarter of next year.
Oh, it's pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, we're at a stage now where, I mean, we're just kind of finalizing some things. I mean, the GKR tour that we're on is not just about previews, but just doing that last bit of play testing with some core gamers, just to get their takes. And we are happy, and we're embracing any kind of comments. We will learn right to the end.
Okay. Good to know.
We want this to be a great game. We want to have a longevity to it, because we're just biting, to be able to put more factions, and we want to see a whole table of these guys.
Right.
We're probably going to run out of colors before that happens. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Trying to stay all primary.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to also figure out organized play, just because it's already sort of a sports metaphor. So there might. It seems
perfect.
like a nice dovetail.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and I would absolutely love that. That's my main job here, is running all the organized play. So I look forward to that.
Well, hopefully it's made easier with the AR, because the technology there is going to allow for multiplayer online, and it doesn't matter where you are.
That's cool.
What we're trying to make sure that we can have available as well is that you can play your friend across on the other side of the world in New Zealand. We can
it's almost
play
like
together.
virtual chess kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And you said you were hoping to get up to 8 factions. You said that's your current.
It's really how many
current goal?
primary colors there are. So we're like, at some point we're gonna run out. So, but yeah, the initial kind of rollout or idea is the 8 factions. But currently we only have sort of 4. We're starting to develop the other 4. The other thing we've been trying to do is kind of disassociate the pilots from the factions so that pilots will have modifiers. So we're hoping that the replay value there, just in terms of, I tried this pilot with this mech. This mech, say, is like a missiler and it likes to keep distance. This one likes to close. Whatever the strengths and weaknesses of the particular mech are, then coupled with, hey, this pilot's modifiers, they move faster, or they're better at defense, or, that kind of thing.
Cool, cool. So it's not just this is the mech you have, and these are its stats, and every time you play with it, these are its stats. Sort of thing.
We're trying to put a little bit of variation, just so there's some variation in there, so it doesn't get stale.
Yeah,
very cool.
I mean, the battlefield would change. That's what first thing changes: the buildings and how the layout is. But then you'll choose your pilot, you'll choose your faction, you'll choose your weapon systems, you'll choose your defensive and offensive weapon systems. And then at the same time, there's also event cards that play as well. Some are global, some just affect the player. So no 2 games could ever be the same, and you're always going to probably look for that combination that works best for you, that resonates your style the best, whether you're a full offensive, full defensive, a little more kind of strategic. And there's 2 win systems as well. One that involves just absolute total dominance, just destroying your opposition, and the other one which involves complete dominance of advertising on the
that again my idea of I'm a sucker for anything that dystopian cyberpunk sort of feel, where it's like it's you're inundated with ads. People people have like a cybernetic eye or something, and it's just like superimposing ads on every flat surface
like
in their world and stuff.
Exactly.
Cool.
Big fans of that.
Very
fans of that stuff.
That's I'm glad to hear. I'm in good company then. All right, cool. So we'll get some shots of the game in play so people can see what it's all about.
Great.
All right, and again, this game is Giant Killer Robots.
Yeah, actually, that's another weird thing, right? The property is called Giant Killer Robots, but this game
is Heavy Hitters.
Heavy Hitters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well, I look forward to it. I'm definitely going to be interested in playing this when it finally comes out.
Thanks. All right, man.
Awesome. Thanks, Travis.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for coming by, all the way from New Zealand.